Never underestimate a child. You may not think they're capable of handling difficult situations, but then again, you might be surprised. The 3-year-old in our next story did something remarkable in the face of danger. And when all the details came to light, it was not only remarkable, it was miraculous. It was December 5th, 1996, Fire Safety Week in Grand Junction, Colorado, and the Genesis Preschool had organized a field trip for their class of 3-year-olds to tour the local firehouse.
Here we go. Watch your fingers.
Firefighter David Austin was in charge that day.
I just like to walk through between the trucks, show them what the different parts are, the fire hoses and whatnot. I try to tell the kids not to be afraid of the firemen. Do you think that would be
When it came time to teach the children about the importance of dialing 911, 3-year-old Brittany McElfresh showed a special interest.
If there was an emergency at your house, what numbers would we push?
911.
911.
It's never too early for them to learn 911 and how to contact emergency services.
911.
I explain to them that 911 is not a toy.
It's only for emergencies.
I will use the scenario that what if you find mom and you can't wake her up? What number are you going to dial?
911.
For young Brittany, the lesson learned that day would soon become the difference between life and death. "911 dispatcher Kendra Andrews answered Brittany's call.
911, nature of emergency.
When the call first came in, I heard some silence, and then I heard a small child talking, repeating what I was saying to her.
911.
911, can I talk to your mom?
She's got a little tick on her head.
She's got a sick on her head?
Yeah.
Is she
She sounded
sick?
very concerned and very
She hurt
anxious.
her head?
A lot of calls with little kids, you can tell if they're playing on the phone, and she was not. She was very calm and very sincere about what she was telling me.
What's your name?
Running.
Brett, where's your mom at?
She's right here.
Can I talk to her?
Sure.
Okay.
You okay?
At that point, I realized that Mom was not going to come to the phone.
She hurt her head.
She hurt her head?
Yeah.
Does she need an ambulance? She does?
Kendra immediately dispatched an emergency unit to the scene.
Yeah?
You have to come over and get her, and then you have to fix her head.
Okay, is she bleeding?
Yeah, she got the bleed on her head.
She's bleeding on her head?
Yeah.
How much is she bleeding?
I was getting very nervous because I didn't know what had happened.
Is your mom breathing, do you know?
No, she died real bad.
She died?
That really concerned me when she kept insisting that her mom had died.
Does it work?
And at one point I really got very nervous that maybe that might have happened.
She's dying.
I cannot imagine a 3-year-old looking at their mom and wondering, and really saying that she was dead.
Was he drugged in there?
It must have been very scary for her.
Just a little?
It was at that point that Kendra learned that there was someone else in the house.
It looks like a silly man, but
It looks like a silly man.
She talked about a silly little man that was in the room with her, and I wasn't sure who she was talking about, if she was talking about if there was another person in the house that may have done this to her mom, that had come back to do some more to her mom.
Okay. Where's your dad at, Brett?
Part of the reason I asked if Dad was around is if he was the silly-looking man that she was talking about, or if Dad could help. And she told him no, that he was at work.
He's sick?
There very well could have been a perpetrator in the house.
The dramatic conclusion, when It's a Miracle, continues. Just days after learning how to dial 911, 3-year-old Brittany McElfresh placed an emergency call.
911.
911?
Her mother was lying on the floor unconscious and bleeding from the head. The 911 dispatcher was trying to piece together what had happened when she learned that someone else might be in the house with the young girl.
It looks like a silly man, but
It looks like a silly man.
yeah.
Volunteer paramedic Lee Hyde was the first to arrive on the scene.
Hello? I could just kind of barely see the mom. It was kind of a difficult angle to see. The little girl would not let me in the house. I was a stranger to her, and she was not going to let me in the house. But she was on the phone with 911 dispatch.
Who's there?
Oh, wait.
See if there's a squad person there.
Come to the door!
Moments later, the rest of the paramedic team arrived. Luckily, David Austin was among them. Brittany recognized the man who'd taught her 911 and finally opened the door.
Hi! What's going on?
Dispatch,
Uh-huh.
it's Lee with Clifton Rescue Squad.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye.
I was very relieved once the rescue squad got there because I knew that my job was over and that the people that needed to be on scene were there.
From evidence at the scene, they were able to piece together what had happened. While feeding her children breakfast, some baby food spilled on the floor, causing the young mother to slip and hit her head during the fall. Her condition was serious. She had already lost a great deal of blood and her brain had begun to swell.
It was a very good thing that the little girl called 911 when she did, because the longer a head injury goes without being treated, the worse that it can be. She could have possibly had a stroke or been brain dead in a matter of hours.
Robin McElfresh was rushed to the hospital where she was diagnosed with a severe concussion and treated for her injuries. When her husband Lee arrived, they both learned what a brave and miraculous thing Brittany had done.
When I woke up in the hospital, a nurse came to me and said, "Wow, your daughter saved your life." And I said, "No, sorry, you're wrong."
When they told us that our daughter, 3.5 years old, had dialed 911, my wife and I both were in disbelief.
And they said, "No, we've got her on tape. It's her." And I just thought they were wrong. She was only 3. She's very little. I just thought that was impossible, but it wasn't.
You saw an angel? And what did it look like?
But just how truly miraculous that day was only became clear when Brittany told her parents that the silly little man she mentioned to the dispatch operator was actually an angel.
And we said, "What silly man, Angel?" Because we hadn't heard anything about this. We said, "Oh, really? And what did he do?" She said, "He just kept saying, keep telling them, Brittany. They'll know. They'll come and they'll help you." And we said, "Did he dial 911? And she said, "No, I did that myself. And he just helped me not be scared." I think 2 or 3 nights later, the firemen came to our house and gave us a copy of the 911 tape.
It looks like a silly man, but
It looks like a silly man.
The tape only confirmed what Brittany knew all along. And nearly 5 years later, she remains absolutely convinced of what she saw that day.
Tell me if you can't make it.
When I told my mom, she did not believe me. And I just said, "This really happened, Mom. You'll have to believe me." I knew what I saw because I saw it for reals.
There absolutely was an angel watching over Brittany. I think there was an angel watching over all of us that day.
Every day I wake up and I thank God that my daughter's here and that she helped me and that I'm here. I'm still blown away by it every day. I look at her and I can't believe that, she loved me that much to really, sense that there was something wrong and to take care of it. And I couldn't be more proud or more in love with that little girl.
It's a very unusual situation for a parent to owe her life to her child. But then Brittany McElfresh is a very unusual child. She joins us now with her entire family from their home in Grand Junction, Colorado. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mr. Thomas.
How's everyone doing?
Very
Doing good, thank you.
Great.
I am still amazed by what Brittany did that day, and the fact that she's only 3 years old. Tell me, has she always been this advanced for her age?
Yeah, I think so. Since she was little, she picked up things real quick.
Now, I know you're not at all biased, but just how smart is she?
She's got it together. She does real well in school. She's real advanced, and mainly she loves helping people.
Well, she certainly proved that the day of the accident. Now, I heard that something happened in a bookstore in connection with the angel that Brittany saw that day. Would you mind telling us about that?
Yeah, that was it was quite a while after the accident, and we hadn't really heard about the angel for a while, and I went into a Christian bookstore to get something, and when I turned around, Brittany was standing looking at a picture, and when I turned around, she was crying, and I said, "What are you looking at?" And she said, "Oh, Mommy, it looks just like my angel." And that was the closest to we've gotten to a description of that angel. But it was pretty pricey, so we moved along, but it was a really neat, it's a beautiful picture.
Well, Brittany, we have a little surprise for you today.
Brittany. Oh.
Look at that. Is that your angel?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Richard.
You're very welcome. And thank you for sharing your incredible story with us. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.